Hello, welcome back to the channel. How are you going? So, today I want to talk about how I'm so afraid these days to open my phone because every single time my algorithm is definitely my fault. I'm the one that pay attention to this and consume the content, but I'm just being bombarded with missing cat, missing dogs, abusive dogs, and like rescue stories, how these pets are found in the wild. And then you open, it's like every social media that I opened, I feel like I really don't want to open it anymore because it's all doom and gloom. I used to feel the same way when I watched news on TV, and then I stopped doing that and I escaped on the internet. But now the real world is on the internet. Now the mainstream is on the internet, and it's becoming like that now. It's becoming like when you open your TV in the past, and now it's the same when you open your social media. You basically open your TV, and I find it to be extremely devastating. And I know, like, we should be grateful in some degrees that everything is in our fingertips, like literally. But I feel like I really want to have the right to be ignorant about situations of the world. And I know that sounds really bad because I get to that stage of being overwhelmed that I dissociate, and I definitely feel like I should detached and I should desensitize myself to all of this because I can't do anything. And even if I wanted to do something, that means I have to sacrifice my own survival, and that's really bad because you don't want to discard yourself, especially when it's get to that stage where you definitely need to be resourceful about what you have and how you use them. And I feel like the stories that are coming on my FYP and my algorithm is it's definitely a reflection of me, definitely a reflection of what my interests are, but I feel I need to reset it, and it just feels very heavy. It's like, I guess it's split. My page is split with people enjoying themselves, buying and shopping luxury goods and spending $20 on a drink and traveling around the world like you would just travel on a bus basically, which of course like makes sense because traveling doesn't cost as much as it used to be, so it's much more accessible now. Definitely understand that. Because in the 1990s, travel like when you go by plane is definitely not something casual that you do. It's a little bit of a luxurious thing that you do. So only people that have money get to go on this kind of holidays. But now it's different, because it's been kind of privatized and democratized, pricing wise. Um, but I feel like there is this split on my FYP or in other, and even like on the rest of social media, it's all the same. It's like there is this half of it is about the disadvantaged group of people or group of animals, both. And then the other half is like people are basically selling this luxurious lifestyle and this luxurious goods, this idea. And then you got this other bit where it's basically telling people like this is how you get rich and this is how you do it, like using techniques, like law of attractions or digital marketing or like all these things in between. And I feel like it's not really a representation of me. Because if you don't know, if you're a bit older and you don't really know how algorithm works, um, basically whatever platform you're on, the platform will gather all the contents on that platform that they think that you like to watch, and the way they determines that is by the amount of time that you watch and the depth of curiosity that you would display. For example, on TikTok, if you check out the creator page after you watch a video, that means they will show you more of that creator's videos on your page. And if you watch or pay attention to a video, in my case, for example, about law of attractions and stuff like that, they will show you more videos of that. So, and I wonder whether it's doing something to our brain or not, because like every now and then I go into my Facebook local group, which I definitely recommend you should have regardless what age you are, because it kind of connects you to the outside world but without actually connecting you to the outside world. In my case, like my local area, I know that's such a middle-aged lady thing to do, but it's definitely useful. And if you're in different groups, like you definitely see the different culture, like uh, clashing, kind of like my local group, like geographically local, is very middle age and very older community demographic. But I also have a different group that I'm a part of that is, I think, is extremely neurodivergent and queer. And the items sometimes that they are offering to barter, like to swap or buy, um, are like very spicy stuff, like pleasure for women's equipment and stuff. And I'm like, what? I would definitely. It's extremely like having physical local places. In Sydney, there is this place called a suburb called Newtown. It's a very queer space. It's a very neurodivergent and spicy space. Like spicy in terms of, it's not mainstream. It's not the people that you would see, and in the city, for example. And I feel like it has that kind of vibe, that queer vibe and neurodivergent vibe, and out of the mainstream vibe. And it is so funny if you are being part of different groups. And I think it's necessary because you get to see different type of people, and of course you should abide by the rules of the group. And I'm there because I wanted to do a lot of swapping and grieving away a lot of things sometimes when I'm tidying up. But in these groups, like usually, especially the past week or so, there have been a lot of urgent um, need a cat to foster, need a dog to foster. Otherwise, they're gonna put him down, put her down, like they're gonna kill them. Basically, they're gonna euthanize them, and it just feels very helpless, because it's not like it's once, it's twice, it's not like it's once every year, for example. That feels sad, but it's manageable. But it's really overwhelming when you see it every day and it's different type of pet every day. And you just and also like when you see dogs are lost and pets lost, and it's every day on these pages. And I know, like, it's a big place, to be like geographically. Sydney is quite a big place, regardless which suburb you're on. Um, but still, I feel really sad because I get to see all of this. Like, I avoid TikTok sometimes to avoid having that on my FYP. Sometimes I skip the videos that about this type of rescue situation. But now it moved to Facebook, and I feel like I can't escape it, my algorithm, and I can't not watch it. I feel like the least I can do is watch it, so it has like a wide spread and like a wide reach, so that it gets to its target audience that actually can help. So I feel like I am definitely being reeled in with this type of thing, but it's definitely. Am I a victim? I don't know. I feel like I'm not a victim. Maybe I am still naive. I know like a lot of these accounts, like on TikTok anywhere, are definitely not genuine accounts. They're just using these videos to attract viewers so that it boosts their account statistic. But I'm just lamenting. I feel like I want to shut down social media and I just want to live in my own little world again. But it's really hard because it's really isolating living and shutting down news and what's happening. Like recently, I've heard that there's a shooting in my local area. I don't know if anyone died. Like last year, we had that 13 people that died from stabbing in Bondi Junction, for example. I feel like wherever you go locally, like this kind of things can happen. Um, like crimes don't really have a specific location, I think. And I felt I don't feel much. I felt like I should have felt fear. You know, when you have a local shootings, you should feel fear. But maybe I feel like maybe at almost now I'm in my 40s. I feel like, well, if it's my time to go, if it's my time to go, it's time to go. And it feels very different. Like, you know, when you were younger, this kind of things probably would rattle you a lot. But I think as you get older, you're so desensitized with the crimes, with the cruelty of the world. And I feel like I'm so much more selfish. And I think if the world just taught me that if I care too much, I'll get hurt. And I have to leave something for myself so that it can keep going until the end. And I don't know whether that makes me a bad person or whether the purpose of being alive kind of being squashed to the ground because there is no bottom when it comes to having your focus in helping people. Like there is no bottom. It's a bottomless thing. You know, it's an abyss. You can help, but like one cat, two cats, 100 cats, there's always going to be more cats or more dogs that are needing help. You know, it's like it's never ending. And unless it's something that you probably want to dedicate your life to and you have like endless amount of money to support you, which I know like one billionaire kids like part of the chaebol conglomerates kid, like the youngest of them, dedicate his and her his wife life to, you know, rescue dogs. But he could afford that. He's a billionaire's kid. The rest of us kind of have to think like either the dog or the cat or us. Like that said, like if I have a dog or a cat and I'm in a very really dire like financial position, which I usually do, I probably would be one of those people who would just like sacrifice my meal time just so that I can make sure that he or she, like the dog or the cat, eats. So I'm one of those people who probably would sacrifice my own meals for the cats and dogs. But that's just because I'm responsible for those cats and dogs. I've made a commitment to take care of them, so I will not bail. But the rest of them, the ones that are not under my care or under my guardianship, are not my problems, so to speak. And I can look away, I can walk away, and I do feel guilty every time I swipe away. And I know like I should be a lot more desensitized. And I know it's such a normal behavior to kind of swipe away or look away. And I kind of get why boomers are so nonchalant about this type of things. It's like because they live longer, right? They have like 30, 40 years on us, on millennials. And I think like this kind of things, when you do become desensitized and you become cold almost, is when you don't have the solution. So you don't really know what to do. So there is no next step. And even if you can save one, for example, you can't save a million or you can't keep saving them out of your own pocket, for example. So it makes it feel like even with the local shootings, I can't. What can I do? I have to. Where probably the only thing I can do is maybe call for a tighter gun control in the states, like in my state, which is New South Wales. Um, but you can just have to keep living and keep going with life, and it just feels very odd. I don't know. I feel like I should really stay away. I really should do like a digital media detox, but I think my nervous system is so wired to negativity. I'm not sure how to feel positive anymore. Anyway, is that quite? I feel like is that depressing? I just want to talk about it. I guess like that's the purpose of these kind of chats. I guess in my book is just to talk about things in my daily life. Anyway, thanks for listening to me, guys. Yeah, if you're new here, my name is Valerie and I'm a solopreneur. You can check out like my stuff in the description box below. Also, reminder up until 31st of March 2025, ING Australia is giving $125 bonus free for new customers only. Check out the steps and terms and conditions in the description box in the link at the down very bottom. And yeah, grab your $125 free. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Bye, everyone.